Carolyn Dube here, and today I'm going to show you how I made some trades or pins that I took to Art As You recently. But before that, I'm going to share with you about my workshop coming to Art As You in Stamford this October. I'm going to bring a huge stash of stencils for us to play with as we build pattern and we combine painting and stencils and mark making to create a huge stack of pattern papers. Then I'm going to show you how to unleash these crazy characters that are living inside the painted papers, as well as how to hear the story that they're trying to tell. Hope to see you at Art As You in Stamford at Meet the Crazies. And I even have a little surprise up my sleeve for everybody in the workshop. Well, now back to our regularly scheduled programming about these trades that I made for Dixie for Art As You. If you've never done a trade before and you're going to an art retreat, I really recommend it. They are a great way to get to know people. It's a great way to start conversations. When I do a trade, it's something little that I make that I'm going to give to someone that I meet there. So I'd started with 3 pieces of paper that were about watercolor weight. And then I grabbed a couple of spray inks. I am playing with, that blue one was a Color Bloom from Prima. The neon colors were from Hero Arts. I'm really just spraying and playing and just creating some all over pattern and color. This is fast becoming one of my favorite stencils for making backgrounds because you get so many of those sort of scribbly loose lines in there, and I love to add scribbling to stuff that I do. And so this allows me to build up some layers. That is some of the pearl from Color Bloom right there to add a little more shimmer. So I'm going to have some shimmer, I'm going to have some neon, I'm going to have colors that were randomly picked up off of the stencil. And you'll see that I'm kind of moving the papers around because I find that I tend to spray in the same areas. So by rearranging the papers, it makes sure I get the whole things covered. And I'm just playing. I've got a lot of inks on these, so when I'm all done with these, I am going to let them dry completely before I go on to the next step. And the next step is adding some words to it. I'm going to use the Uplifting Words stencil, and I'm going to pick out the words that I want to use. I don't have to use every word, or I could use every word. I'm going to grab some paint on a cosmetic sponge, and I'm just going to dab in there. The reason why I'm using a cosmetic sponge this time is because I'm way too lazy to mask anything off. And with a cosmetic sponge, I have pretty good control over exactly where that paint's going to go. So I just have that word in there. I wanted the word magic. And then I'm going to come along with just a small paintbrush and I'm going to seal up the stencil lines on it. So by just taking a very small paintbrush, I'm just going to sort of paint over it and hide the stencil lines in it. So that way when somebody looks at it, they're not really sure how I did it. And you guys know how impatient I am, and there's no way I could ever hand letter this. But somebody who doesn't know me as well might actually think maybe I hand lettered it. And I'm just going to keep filling in this paper with the words that I'm going to use to make the pins. So here's the next step. The word's completely dry, and I'm going to cut it out. And I could either fight to try and make this perfectly, done with right angles and measure everything, but that's really not me, and I don't have that kind of patience, so I just kind of loosely cut it out. Then I went and got a piece of cardboard chipboard. This piece, I think, was actually the cardboard that came on a legal pad of paper. So when I was all done with that pad of paper, I just saved the chipboard, and that's what I'm using here. And that same blue paint that I used to do the words, I am going to use to paint the chipboard. I'm going to do the edges and any of the part that's going to be showing. I don't have to worry about the middle, because nobody's going to see it because the word's going to be going right on top of it. So here are a bunch that have been cut out and painted, and now I'm ready to start gluing them together. All I'm going to do is take a little bit of gel medium, and I'm going to put that on and then stick the word on it and let it dry. And now is the oops portion of the video. That's polymer gloss from Golden. I had ordered it. I haven't used it a whole lot. But I thought, hey, I know what this does. It makes things shiny and it's pretty and it dries clear. So I'm going to coat these in it. I've got a big jar of it. I'll have plenty to go. Won't be a problem. And I knew it would dry in time since, of course, I was waiting until the last minute to finish my trades. So what was the problem? Well, the pins stuck together. Once this stuff's dry, it's very attracted to other things that are made in polymer gloss, and they would stick together. But I have to say it was kind of fun when we'd reach into the bag and like 3 words would come out stuck together and we'd pull them apart. So in this, I had a lot of fun pulling them apart with other creative types, and I now understand how polymer gloss works a little bit better. One of the things I'm really terrible about is remembering names, but I remember art, I remember conversations. So people that have their names on the back of their trades, that's a big help to me to remember who people are. So I always try and put my name on the back of my trades. And I just used glue right there to stick everything down. Pin backs, I have on the little pieces, I had smaller pin backs, and on the bigger words, I had larger pin backs. And that's all there was to finish up these pins. Thanks for watching and being a part of this colorful journey.